Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Styx and I appreciate you being here today. Today we're going to do something a little different. I was approached by a company called PARKOO to review their permanent marker set. This is a 36 color set of permanent markers. They are alcohol based and I will put the current price right here on the screen for you because I'm sure it fluctuates a little bit, so I want to have the most up-to-date information. I'm excited to try these and see what they're like and see if they can hold their own versus markers like my Ohuhu brush markers or other markers I've tried in the past. Although the company sent these to me for free, they have not given me a script or sponsored this video in any way, and all of my opinions are my own. So let's get to swatching these. Okay, so I'm pretty excited to get started playing with these guys. It looks like there are a lot of great colors to work with here, which is exciting. And let's just get into it, shall we? The packaging is cute. I like that they're firmly secured here, so they're not gonna kind of wiggle around, and if you take one out, the others don't get out of place because they're all hooked to this little plastic thing. So that's cool. That's a neat way to package them. And that way they'll stay in order, which is nice because looking at these, I don't see any kind of a indicator to say which color is which. So having them in an order is probably going to be the only way you're going to know. That is really not the color I was expecting from that one. This is why we swatch. These colors, especially the darker ones, are going on really smoothly, which is awesome. Overall, the markers didn't much match their caps for the most part, but there was a good range of colors and some lighter ones in there, which is nice. Other than some more lighter colors, which is always something that's wanted, it would have been nice to have a few more skin tones included in this pack. But to be honest, I think they're marketing this pack for many purposes, including crafting and things on different mediums, so not specifically for illustration. What I think that I am going to do is get some tape and label each of these with the number that I've written here so that I can always refer to this color chart when I'm looking for the correct marker. And that way, if I ever want to take them out of this packaging, I can move them anywhere and they'll still have their number so that I have a way to identify them. So I'm going to do that. But first, I'd like to try seeing if these will blend at all, because I know Sharpie markers do blend a little bit, and so do like the Bic markers, which are also similar. So I'm wondering if these will blend at all. So I'm going to pick two colors that are kind of in the same color range and see if I can get them to blend together. I am using some Hammermill cardstock, which I think is blendable, and it looks like these are doing an okay job. They're not super great at blending, and it does start to tear up the paper a little if you go over it too many times, but it's not too bad. So I might be able to make a marker illustration with these and have it turn out decent. Okay, so I want to do some kind of a cute little chibi type illustration, I think, and I'm actually working on a story involving a cute little forest fairy. It's going to be a children's book, and I have a goal to get it at least started this year. So I figured I might as well try working out what her character might look like. I decided I kind of want her style to be a little bit chibi, a little bit chunky, and I think that'll be really fun. Okay, I'm going to let this dry for a while, and you know what? I think since I don't have any coloring ideas for this girl, I might actually do the random color challenge for her and see if we can come up with some fun colors. So while this dries, let's choose some colors. Okay, so I've pulled up a random color generator and I made a document that lists each of the different things I need a random color for, and I'm just going to be generating a different color per each one. So getting started here with the skin, and as we do this, I just want to talk about the random color challenge. I first saw, I think, Hello Alice do it with her sister on a beautiful illustration. I'll link to that video. And then I also saw it done by Swan Creates and then Sonia Stigman. So I will link to everybody's color challenge videos that I've seen so far so you can see what everyone else did. But the basic idea is that you pick certain elements of your drawing that you've already made, and then you use a color generator to just have it pick what color things are going to be. So it ends up being a challenge to get your drawing to look unified and look like it goes together. And so yeah, that's basically it. So I'm going to let this speed through the picking of all these things. We're halfway done, and then we'll get to the coloring. Okay, now it's time for the real fun. We're gonna start coloring here and see how we go. So I think I'll start with the skin, and I'm hoping that the lines, this is why I used a black liner, I'm hoping the lines are dark enough that using permanent marker on them, that using permanent marker on them is not going to make it so you can't see the lines. So I took a picture of my screen that had all of the colors that we picked in our random color picker, and I assigned a number that is closest to each of the ones that we picked. So we're gonna work from that. And so that means that the skin is gonna be turquoise, and I think what I'm going to do is, overall, I think the skin should be around this color, number 30. But I'm going to start with 23 so that I can have a lighter color to blend into. So let's do that. And last night, I went ahead and put numbers on all of these so that I'd know which one was which if I happened to dump them out or something. Okay. And since this is just a chibi, I'm going to try and go for a simple flat shaded style. I'm not sure how well the blending will work, but I would like to do a little bit of blending if I can. And I'm just going to jump in and get started. I'm testing on here to make sure that it doesn't smudge the line art, because I use the same liner. And it looks like it's not going to, so that's good. It's disappearing into itself quite well, so that is exciting. I'm excited to see how she turns out, because she definitely has brighter colors than I probably would have picked on my own. If I like them enough, maybe I'll keep it canon. I was thinking she's more of a naturey girl, so she'd have more like earthy colors. But this is fun too. So first off, I'm just going to do a flat wash of this color all the way over her skin. I'm really happy with how these look on the paper because they're not streaky. It's easy to fill in small areas because of the small tip. So far, enjoying them a lot. I am getting a little bit of smudging on the liner. And what I'm using is the fine liner graphics pens that I got in the Jazz's Jazzy Art box. But it's not too bad that it's very noticeable. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the darker color and start with just some cell shading first. Okay, I'm going to try to blend that out and see if it works. If it doesn't, I kind of like it that way, but I think it actually did a great job. I'm probably going to do this more on like the shoulders, elbows, the knees, and the little fingers and toes. I gotta say, I think that's really cute. Okay, next we're going to move on to the hair. And the hair colors that I have chosen are actually number 4 and 5. 5 for the like finished shaded part, and 4 would be the lighter parts of the hair. Not sure if I should try and leave some white in there for the shine. I've never really tried that method before, so maybe I'll test that out. I might end up deciding that's too many highlights, and if so, I figure I can go over it, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, now we're going to go back in with the number 5 and add the shading. I know that I'm a newbie when it comes to marker art, but so far out of traditional art, it's definitely the thing I've enjoyed the most. I've tried watercolor, I've tried a little bit of gouache, but there's just something about markers. They're really fun. So it looks like in the places where I went over the skin twice with the base color, it does get darker, so I'm thinking that if I do that with the hair, or maybe even use the lighter orange, number 3, over the hair, it might look kind of nice, like just lighter highlights, and that'll help blend in this darker orange with the lighter orange too. So that's kind of what I think I'm going to do here. So let's grab number 3, and we'll start back here to see if we like it. Ooh, I think I do. Yeah, that helps tie everything together. This is similar to the technique I used with the Ohuhu markers in that review, and I really enjoyed the way the hair ended up looking in that one, so I feel pretty confident that this technique will look nice. Okay, now where are we at? Let's see. Next, the eyes should be dark purple. I assigned that to number 16. Is that this one? I think so. Yep. I'm actually going to use 16 and 18. 18 as the base. And that made quite a nice little gradient. I think I'm also going to use this light purple color just to shade her eyes a little bit. And maybe add a little bit more shading to her skin to tie it all together. Okay. Next, her top should be number 23, which is what I originally started with for her skin. So in order to make that the darker portion, I'm going to try starting with maybe 20. Well, it should be light green blue, so maybe I'll start with 25 and then shade with 23. I'm not sure how well that will work. I just don't really have a lighter version of that, and I don't want it to look too close to the skin. So that's that. Is this 25? Yeah. Let's see how this goes. Wow, that blended really nicely. The ruffle on her outfit, that's a tough one because it's supposed to be cream colored, and I really don't have, as you can see, anything that's cream colored. I think the closest one is going to be this 31 here. So I guess that's what we'll do. This is probably actually my favorite color from the whole set. I'm not sure why. 23 is my favorite color in general, but 31 is probably my favorite in this set. I guess I could have left it white and shaded with this, but I don't know. I'm going to go back to that light purple and give this some shading. Really liking how those are working together. And the sash is turquoise again. So this time I think I'm going to start with the turquoise and then shade with maybe a darker blue or purple to make it look darker than the rest of the skin. I'm glad I kept this illustration kind of small because I think it would take a long time to fill in areas that were quite large. Trying to go in while this is still nice and wet and just blend it out as much as possible. These two colors aren't exactly very close to one another on the color scale, but they're not doing too bad of a job blending together, so that's good. I think this is the only part so far that I'm really not happy with, just because of the color choice, the random color choice. I would have preferred it be something a bit more different from her skin tone. But what can you do when you don't get to pick? Okay, and then the shorts, those are another interesting one. They're going to be reddish purple, which I think number 14 here is probably the best representation of that. So I might do 15 and then shade with 14. Let's see how this goes. It's a good place to try and blend. Okay, interesting. I'm not sure I like how this color tone plays off the other color tones, but it's alright. Let's continue. For the wings, we chose purple and green. So I thought that 25 and 18, the two light colors, would be best to make magical wings. So let's start with that. Oh, that's such a nice smooth tone. I love it. I think I'm just going to make this whole bottom into the green, and then the top line will be the purple. And I'm not going to do any shading on those because I kind of want them to be somewhat transparent. Okay, so our little fairy is done. I think she needs a background. I'm trying to figure out, maybe the tan would tie everything together best. That light color that I really like, just because it's kind of neutral and everything else is really not. So let's start with that. I think I'm gonna go over this twice see if I can effectively get rid of some of these marks, and it looks like that's working. So let's see. They layer over each other very nicely, it seems. I might have to go back in here and help out my white edge a little bit with my white Posca pen, but that's okay. This side definitely seems a little bit more streaky. I think I was faster with that one than I was with this side, and I probably should have slowed down and taken my time. Okay, now for some final little accents with my white pen. Keep these minimal mostly, but I do want some in the eye. And maybe like a dot on each cheek, because that's cute. Sometimes if you do like dots where the blood flow is, I don't know why that's cute, but it is. Okay, and then maybe some sparkles on her wings. And then I just wanted to clean up this outer line because it got kind of raggedy. Okay, and there we have it. She is all done. Well guys, what do you think of the final product? I'm actually pretty impressed at how well these markers handled considering their price. They were really fun to use. They did not have a brush tip, but for the type of illustration I did, I didn't find that really a detriment. It made it easier to kind of get those small details in. So I guess it just depends on the type of art you'd want to do with them. One thing I liked about them is that they're permanent, so I can use them for a lot of different projects other than just drawing, so it'll be fun to do that in the future. All in all, I would recommend them for their price and the fact that you get so many colors. Some of the things that I would prefer they did have were more light colors to choose from. Yellows, creams, light grays, and maybe even a few more darks, although there were more darks than lights. But that seems to be a common problem with all markers for some reason. The sets always seem to come with more of the medium to dark saturated tones and none of the light pastel colors unless you get a set specifically for that. So anyway, I really enjoyed using these. I hope you enjoyed watching me draw my cute little forest fairy. What did you think of her colors? They definitely aren't what I would have chosen if I were able to choose. So maybe we'll revise her in a little bit with some different color options and see what we think. She is going to be a character in one of my children's books, as I mentioned, so her design will probably go through a few different changes before we land on a final version. But it was fun creating her for this challenge and this review today, and I will catch you all next week. Thank you for being here. Bye everyone.